Good morning, you guys. Oh Lord, y'all stop fighting. Ooh, y'all getting on my nerve. I'm gonna wait and start letting people get the notification. Okay, I see the black Barbie. Your choice towing. Hey Phyllis, I wanted to get on for about an hour. You guys, I got some stuff I want to talk about. Hey Shan, hey new to you. Hey Tyranny. Y'all get so sick of these dogs fighting. Y'all stop. Move. Woo. Riley, you know she beats you up. Leave her alone. Hey Leo. I'll give some more people a couple more minutes to come in. How is everybody doing this morning? I'm up early drinking coffee because I gotta get out. But I decided to do it. I was gonna wait till tonight. I might be too tired when I get back. So I wanted to do like a video. I was thinking about some stuff. I was looking at some stuff, y'all. And I was looking at some stuff that came across my desk. Okay. And it has started. I think I've spoken about this before, and that's why I was gonna do just morning coffee. And I was reading like some of my emails that I got. I was like, Lord, this stuff has started for like some consultations, but I want women to be smart and to love themselves. Okay, so I kind of want to talk about that, and I don't want to be hard on the men or anything because I understand, like, there are a lot of good men out there that take care of their business, that make their own money and stuff. Hey, Crystal, but there are a lot of leeches out there, and I can't understand for the life of me why this like women keep. It's not like a lot of these women don't know. They make the same mistake. It's like repetitive. I don't know what they be hoping for, but everybody already know what happens around income tax season, right? Hey, Diane. So we're gonna give. I'm gonna start in like 2 minutes, and you guys make sure you hit the like button. And I think it goes back to women need to love themselves. It's a lot of women, and they are beautiful. It's a lot of beautiful women, like a whole lot. Like everybody is beautiful in their own right anyways. It's going to be always the most beautiful person in the world is probably always somebody that looks better than that person. I think everybody just has his or her own look. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder anyways. you know but I was thinking about, y'all left me out last night. I'm on y'all asses. Yep. Well, we'll see if we can get some understanding, because I do be wanting to see women do well. I do. I'm a woman. There's no way in the world, me being a black woman, that I don't want to see other women do well. And I may be a lot of things, but I've never been a jealous hearted person, because I understand, like, whatever it is that somebody else have, I can go get. But I've never been one of those ones to go get something just because I see somebody else with it. I think people take competition to people take hey, who done it? People kind of take competition to another level. Like they take it to a real unhealthy level. Us being women, like we're very territorial by nature. I don't know any woman that is not. And I think it comes from being protective, like over our children, over whatever it is that we have. So we're very territorial over our loved ones and stuff like that. Hey, McDames. But sometimes I think that, that spirit of jealousy is real dangerous. And as I've said before, like I don't deal with people that have jealous spirits, because they'll set you up or they'll kill you themselves. I kind of watch out for that. Sometimes people kind of give people a pass. They don't go below the surface. When they see somebody has a jealous spirit, they'll, if it's not, that venom is not being if that venom, they're not shooting that venom towards them, they kind of, don't think about it. But you have to think about it, any time that poison could turn on you, because a jealous person is just that, a jealous person. That's an infection, right? And jealousy is as deadly as the grave. That proves to be true, because we see that jealousy is the mother of all evil. As I've been saying, anything bad that happens to a person, it always starts, when people do stuff to people, it always starts from that emotion, that jealousy emotion, right? But I wanted to talk about, women need to love themselves more and be smart. Me too, Diane. I love being around go-getters. I do. I love being around women that's got more going than me, because when people have more going than you, when they have more going, um they don't get jealous when on your wins. They feel like it's supposed to happen. As a matter of fact, they will help you, right? They'll help you. I've started working with other investigators, and I've started working with like other I went to a conference, and I normally don't go to a whole lot of those conferences, but I'm so glad I did. um I went to me and my partner in Memphis went to this conference that they have like in the backwoods of Tennessee, right? That they give for because we get to get hours and stuff. And at that conference, I had the opportunity to meet quite a bit of other investigators and stuff, which is good, because a lot of these investigators are retired from other agencies and stuff. And I got to the opportunity to meet this investigator from out of one of them that I met was from out of Knoxville. And I had been communicating with him. He had contacted me about doing some work for him around um, my area. Now, normally I don't do a lot of contracted work, because the person who gets the work has to get paid, right? And I let them know from the very start, I ain't working for no $40-$50 an hour. When they call, I let them know. I mean, but the thing about him was, he was like, well, you know what, I guess I'll just have to cut mine, because I need you to go do it. And he's a white guy, an older white guy. And immediately he started telling me about some stuff. Like, he wasn't trying to hold nothing in. He started telling me about some other avenues of resources that I had not even heard about. So it's always good to, regardless to what their race is, regardless to what, to start networking with other people. And one thing I do know about other people, it's just, especially when they're business minded, it's just about money. They don't deal with no mudslinging. If you need help, it's always good, because a lot of these guys have worked in higher agencies where they have connections. Like, I got a connection with a guy up in Boston who is retired from a higher agency. And I remember when he called me, actually, because he had some work down in the Memphis area. And I started looking at his website, and I started asking him about, I said, so you all know how to, because do work with, people's phones that have been tapped and stuff like that. And he was like, yeah, and I found out what agency he had came from. And he's been working with me. And that was a good connection. That's a good connection, because there are certain investigators that work in certain areas that the investigative work that they do, it is admissible in court, right? But back to the ladies. I was getting into, and the reason why I brought that up is because it's just good to network. It's good to be professional. It's good to network. It's good to just have it's good to do that, right? But I want for ladies, this is a season where, and it never fails around this time, the young ladies and stuff start getting their income tax checks and all of that. And the thing about it is, we've been hearing about this stuff for years. It's nothing new, right? When these ladies start getting their income tax dues that they, had not been with, their baby daddy ain't been acting right all year. They probably ain't even seen their baby daddy all year. But they come back in December and start being lovey-dovey because, number one, they want to get a Christmas gift. A lot of these girls getting $10,000 and $15,000. I don't know how they're getting it, but they're getting it. Okay. And when these men come back, they come back and they get every dime of their income tax. You even got women that's crazy enough to be given, just because, well, these his kids too. And she giving him half of her income tax, right? He come back for that, and then he goes right back to whoever it was he was with. And I think I said before, like, sometimes these men, because these women, these folks are on such a hustle when it's income tax season. These men that are married, that be messing around with some of these girls that get these $10,000 and $15,000 income tax checks, their wives be in on it with them. Okay, the wives already know. This is how sick folks are. That he gonna go and he gonna do whatever is needed to get that income tax, and then he get her money and he take it back. And these are girls that have children. Whereas, as I was saying before, you getting $10,000 or $15,000. If you working, you done waited all year for that money. Why not put that money up? If you getting 15 G's, if you the next year, if you put that money together, you can invest in something. Instead, they go buy these guys these lemon cars, or they go get a lemon car every year. You got folks that use their income taxes to go get a car every single year. Ain't no way in damn hell that I would go pay for a car every year. I was telling somebody that I know the other day, I was like, a lot of people don't want to do this, but it would be conducive to them to go to an old white person's yard and get like one of that cutlass or something. I know they may not want it, but I bet you that cutlass don't have a lot of miles on it. That cutlass is in good shape, and you ain't gonna have to pay a whole lot of money for it. You have your cash ready. But see, a lot of people are not smart because it's all about looks to them. Daryl says, but this guy right here has his own money. I can't speak for other guys, right? And so that's why I say that women need to love themselves more. Because one thing that I do know, and I'm not like an expert on relationships. I don't claim to be an expert on relationships. But one thing that I do know, a woman being in her 40s, and I knew this way before my 40s, that men that truly care about you, right? They don't come, especially a woman that's got children and is struggling all year. He don't come to hijack her income tax check, right? And so I don't understand why the young ladies don't know that, but I think they do know it, but they just, people that don't love themselves, they have this habit of thinking, well, if I keep doing this, if I keep giving somebody who is not deserving of this, all of this, maybe they'll open their eyes. Maybe I'll be able to take him from his situation. I don't know, but it's a repetitive cycle. And it's so sad when you start hearing a lot of these guys bragging about, man, I gotta act this way because it's income tax season. I don't like sorry men. I don't. Um, I know y'all hear me joking about like some of the guys that I've dated, and they were whoremongers. But I'm gonna tell you something. They were never they were real men. Okay, I didn't have to worry about them asking me for my money. They already know they weren't gonna get it, but I didn't have to worry about that because they worked and made their own money. That's what real men do, right? And they provide. Real men provide and protect, right? They don't come and hijack your resources or leave you in bad positions. I remember when I was working for the sheriff's office, um, that's at 201 Poplar, right? I'll never forget this. And we used to always go downstairs in where the courts were in the lower level because the ATM machine that everybody banked with was down in the lobby. So sometimes around lunchtime or something, we would all of us that worked for the police department, everybody, we would always go down to that ATM that's still down there in that lobby, and it would be full because everybody would be down there for court, for their court cases, and the courtrooms are down there. And I'll never forget, I was standing at the ATM machine waiting for, standing in line. And this man was in one of those courtrooms down there. They were standing outside the courtroom, him and a lady. And so she had just left, got her money out of the ATM. And so he was like, she handed him the money. I'm looking right at him. And so he was like, you can't get no more than that. You ain't got no more money in your bank account. This all you got. And it looked like to me she was handing him some hundreds. And she said, well, I can't get all my money out the bank because I gotta have some money because I gotta go buy the kids some food. He said, bitch, you sitting up talking about feeding your kids and I'm fighting for my motherfucking life. Don't you know, when I looked behind me, that lady was back in line again, I guess, to get the rest of her money out. I never forgot that. I was like, my God, first of all, motherfucker, you in trouble and you too sorry to pay for your own court fees and lawyers and shit, because bitch, you could rot in jail. But for her to be sitting there telling him, I ain't get all my money out because I got to get my kids something to eat, and he said verbatim, bitch, you sitting up talking about you got to feed your kids, and I'm fighting for my life. And so, like I said, and she was back in line, so I guess she was gonna get the rest out, and I guess I don't know how our kids was gonna eat because he sure didn't care. Hey, Big Six, and that's the reason why I say, I don't try to be hard on people, but it's just that I know that a lot of young women did not grow up with a father figure or a man figure that was worth a damn around them. They may have seen their mothers do it, I don't know, but a lot of people just they don't first of all, they came from trauma, which is so heartbreaking to me. You know what I mean? I hate it when I see that people have low self-esteem and they let folks just run all over them, right? It's very heartbreaking to me. And and then they try and buy love. Hell, if I got to try and buy it, I don't even want it. Hey, heavy Chevy Levy, what's going on? And so that's why I was like, women just got to be smart. When they start coming to us and trying to retain us with the little income tax money that they got left. Well, I want to know where my boyfriend, that you already know where he at. He went back home to his wife. You knew he was never your boyfriend. He gone back to the girl that he was living with, and they gonna eat good off of your income tax. And I want a lot of these women to understand that real men don't come to hijack your resources, right? They come to provide and protect. And I think it's just so unfortunate. My dad, I remember one time I was thinking about moving in with this guy. This was like, I don't know, I must have been about 20 years old. Um, I was thinking about moving in with this guy. Maybe I was older. I don't know. I was telling my dad about it. I was like, Dad, we're thinking about moving in together, and we're gonna look at getting married. And my dad said, I'll never forget this. My dad said, so who's gonna pay the bills? And I was like, we both are. He said, why? He said, because a Negro, if he wants you to move in with him, first of all, you don't, my dad always had this bad. You don't need to move in with some Negro and be his whore. I was like, what? He said, I'm saying if he wants you to move in with him, he'll marry you, right? And he says, and if you got to pay half of those bills, that means he can't afford to have you. Because a man is supposed to provide and protect. That has always stayed in my mind. I understand, like, we live in households now where people, people have to pay half of the rent. They go half on everything. I'm not against that. My dad came from a old school type of situation. You have to understand, my dad made a lot of money too. He made really good money, so he could do that. But even before my dad started making really good money, before my dad got to the positions that he was in, I remember my dad as a little girl, he worked two jobs, and one of his jobs was at FedEx. He worked two jobs and until he worked his way up to where he was at in his position. But he always said that because he saw my grandfather do that, right? I think I speak about, like, I was so proud of my dad's father because my dad's father couldn't read and write, right? And my grandfather talked about when he was working for the government, how they gave them all of the hard work, and they paid them less. And it was because he couldn't read and write. And so I think I was talking about it because it makes me so proud. That's the reason why my standards are high when it comes to men, and I gravitate toward men that are go-getters. I love it when they are just go-getters and providers. It puts me in the mind of the men that I grew up around, right? And so I remember my grandfather, okay, so they moved out of North Memphis when my dad was 16 years old, right? And they moved to the Whitehaven area, which is where my dad had met my mom and stuff. They grew up in the neighborhood, child, and they were teenage parents. And that would be why they had me. Okay. And so my grandfather, right before he retired, what my grandfather would do was he knew that he wanted my grandfather knew that he wanted to I'm almost to say what kind of business it is, but I still have people on here that are obsessed with me. And so what my grandfather would do is he said he would tell his ride, because he knew he was getting ready to retire and he knew he wanted to start his own business. And he would knock on different doors and he would ask for the man of the house, and he would start telling them about the situation that he had an expertise in that situation, and that's how he built his business up, right? And so he said he would walk around in North Memphis, looking at what it was that they needed to be worked on, and go knock on the door and say, may I speak with the man of the house, and start telling them about how they would have issues if they didn't do something about that. And my grandfather would then, when he would finish doing that, he would walk from North Memphis. He would catch a bus, walk from I mean, he's a hard working. He's in his 80s now, and he's still out there. He ain't even got to be out there because he's got workers and stuff. But my grandfather couldn't read and write. My grandfather didn't go back and learn to read until like the late 1990s and stuff. And he built a business. He built a business that makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that makes a little over 7 figures now, right? And so my dad had came from that. My grandfather took care of. My dad had 10 brothers and sisters and a whole lot of grandkids. My granddaddy did. And it always makes me very proud, when you can. That's why y'all always hear me say, I don't know if I had told y'all this, people that couldn't read, they could count and stuff real good. He could count and stuff really good. And so he would have my aunts and stuff too. When he started building his business, all those years, he would have my aunts and stuff to read over stuff for him until he went back and learned to read himself. That makes me proud to know that Black man came from the backwoods of Tennessee that came to Memphis, raised his kids up in the heart of North Memphis, then moved to the Whitehaven area and made himself what he is now, making the type of money that he made. And my dad came from that. So, when I listen to my dad's I listen to my aunts and stuff say, well, you have to understand, like, yeah, it was like in your father's DNA. It was in your dad's DNA to go as far as he went, because he came from, like, my granddaddy. And I call my dad used to always say, why don't you call your granddaddy? Because I used to go spend nights with my granddaddy and stuff, and my aunties and all of that. Why don't you call? He would say, why don't you call daddy sometimes and talk to him? And I called my granddaddy and talked to him. He always have these stories, because he looks just like my father. He always have these stories about how his dad had land in Tennessee, and had a lot of land that he had in Tennessee, and the white people came and beat him out of the land. They tricked him out of it. He couldn't read and write, and they had him to sign over all of his land and stuff like that. But I came from I grew up and I witnessed real men providing for their women. My grandmother didn't have to, my dad's mom didn't have to lift a finger if she didn't want to. She just wanted to work. She just wanted to. And so I think it's so sad, when I see, and like the same thing with my mom's mother. I'm gonna get you, and I'm not playing. Same thing with my mom's mother. My granddaddy took on my mom's side, he took care of home. When I can remember being in junior high school, and coming home from school, and my grandmother calling from work and saying, has he been home? And I would say, let me see. And I would go in the back in her room, and because he got paid every week. He worked for a construction company. And I would say, yeah, he's been home. And she'd say, count the money that is on the table. He would go cash his check and bring home the bulk of the money. It was always 8 $100 bills laying on the damn table next to their bed, right? And so he did that every week until he retired, because he gave her the money to pay all the bills, to take care of everything in the household, and she got to do whatever she wanted to do with her check. Now, I ain't gonna tell no lies. My grandmother could have handled, I'm talking about on my mom's side, she could have handled her money better, because she took her check and went to the casino. She took his check and paid the bills, took her check and went to the casino. Mama could have did that better, okay? But right, he was a real man. And so I just think that it's unfortunate that a lot of women are not, a lot of young ladies are not taught about what men are supposed to do. They are not, they're not even taught how to be ladies. They tear their households down with their mouth. They're foolish. I know I get on here and talk a lot of shit, but I ain't no damn fool. I wouldn't, I don't have a husband, but I wouldn't tear my house down with my mouth, right? Because I understand, I had good examples of what a wife is, and what um a husband is supposed to be. I talk a lot of shit. I don't take no mess either, okay? But I know not to tear my household down with my mouth, okay? And I think people don't know how to decipher reality, because we see a lot of women that get on, it's all on social media and stuff, and they go, girl, I would do this, this, and that. You have to be real careful now when you start listening to folks talk about what they wouldn't do. Okay, especially I'm talking about as it relates to a marriage, right? I've never in my whole life ever told anybody to leave their husband. I don't even tell people to leave their man, not unless there's some psychological or physical abuse or something like that going on. I tell them you need to look at other options. But to gather around with somebody and say, well, you need to leave your husband, I don't do stuff like that. I don't even get in stuff like that. My cousins that are married, my friends that are married, whenever they've had issues with their husbands and stuff, I sit and listen to them, but you ain't gonna hear me say nothing, because I don't really believe people should leave their men, not unless, now, like I said, there's some physical abuse going on. He's not being a provider and a protector. Verbal abuse, psychological abuse, stuff like that. I don't agree with stuff like that. Right, no disrespect. And I don't think these women know that, because you got to understand, like, if you cuss a man out and disrespect him, he's probably going to do the same thing to you. So that's the reason why you shouldn't do it. When you start calling him bitches and hoes and stuff, um, I don't think that's cool for two people to be together. And then you were calling each other out of your name. I've always despised men that call women out of their names. And that was always a deal breaker to me. You know, I had a boyfriend that did that to me one time, and I sure was hurt, but I quit his ass. And he was calling from pay phones. Y'all know that was when we had pay phones and stuff. So y'all know how long ago that's been, because I was blocking him. That's when we had call block. He was calling big, and he was going to different pay phones. I was blocking the pay phones. I was through with him. He got mad at me and said, "You stupid bitch." I was hurt. Because my mother had always taught me the worst thing a man can do is lay down with you and then get up and call you out your name. So that's why I don't deal with sissies. I don't deal with sissies. I don't even listen to men, even on YouTube, that have a habit of calling women out of their names. I don't like sissified men, emotionally unstable and all that. Go get your ass some help, you crazy ass nigga. I just don't deal with stuff like that. I don't like unhealthy stuff. Right. And emotional stability, especially when you have things going on in your life. Like, I'm trying to build something, right? And for myself, I'm not where I want to be. I'm trying to build something. You can't build something when you got somebody in your life that is emotionally draining you. They're always trying to verbally abuse you. They're always trying to, you can't build nothing and you emotionally drain. So I don't have people like that around me, especially men. That's the reason why people can't believe me. People don't believe me when I say that I'm celibate. I am celibate. Shit. I be wanting some, but I'm not allowing anybody into my atmosphere. I got too much going on. I love the way things going now, for me. Even though, I took a hit with my dad, things are still going good. I miss my dad. Anybody miss their loved one, I miss him. That my dad was real. My dad and I spent a lot of time together. So I miss him, but even in missing him, I still carry my dad's spirit. My dad blessed us quite a bit. I really don't even have to do a lot of the stuff that I do. But I want to build something for myself and for my children, right? And so I already know the person that comes into my life, they will continue that. They ain't gonna come in, "What your dad leave you?" None of your motherfucking business, motherfucker. See, stuff like that pisses me off, because I understand that the person that is for me, when they come in, they're gonna add. They're gonna add, right? I think women kind of get that confused. I hear women say all the time, "Well, I'm gonna take my income tax," and you supposed to help him build his dream. No. Yeah, you can help him build his dream. You can have ideas and stuff. That's right, Heavy Chevy Levy. Keep folks about your business. Um, you can help, people can help you. You can help somebody build. Like, a lot of women, when men get good women, and I ain't talking about no flogging asshole that's watching another woman trying to. You have women. See, I'm gonna tell y'all something that I went through. Okay, I was talking to this guy, right, who was talking to. I found out he was talking to this other girl. And for some reason, the girl became obsessed with me, which is why I hate him. He had his friend to call me one day and said, "Why don't you forgive him?" I said, "I refuse to. I don't want nothing to do with him. Everything that she did, I put it at his feet." And she became obsessed with me. She zoned in on me. I really thought that, when she told me about him, I really thought she was okay. I was like, okay, well, I don't get mad at another woman. I know women will lie, but when we talked, she was like, "I think you cool. I've been watching you for, I've been messing with him on and off for this amount of years. We just kind of mess off, and I figured he was messing with you." That's right, Lola. She said, "I figured he was messing with you because I saw you interview him." I said, "Really?" So she had already told me she had been watching me for a couple years, and he had told her lies, like he was not she in the media and blah 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 and all of this. And so what ended up happening was, me and Lola had talked about this. she was messing with him. He, lied about it and some more stuff, but she kept, I started noticing, because like I said, I thought she was cool. I started noticing she tried to hijack my energy. Right. Everything I post, she turned around and posted like the words would be verbatim. I mean, it was almost like she, for even now, okay. The last time I talked to him, I told him. See, that's how I know, because I don't even want to get into it, but that's one of the reasons why I don't like him anyways. I can't stand him, as a matter of fact. But that's one of the reasons why I always say that men have to be very careful about what they bring into other women's lives, because I'm happy with being peaceful. Okay. And what ends up happening is women start to watch other women. That's why I say they kind of compete with, they don't, you have to love yourself and be who you are. They start trying to compete with, now if they dealing with a woman that they think is less than them, they'll laugh and talk about that, right? But the moment they feel like that he's dealing with a girl that's got more going on than them, they immediately try to hijack her energy and become that person to trick that fuck nigga, okay? To trick them, and it becomes like a single white female type situation. That's the reason why you have to always pray. The internet has made people accessible, right? The internet has made people accessible to yeah, it is crazy. The internet has made people accessible, where they can watch you, when they can try to hijack your energy, where they think that they can try and send negative spells and stuff towards you. That's why you have to always stay prayed up, right? Because spirits are real. People will try and hijack and drain your person and try and become you to trick somebody else, right? So that's why you have to be careful about who you have into your space and who you allow into your life, because they can bring a lot of negative stuff that you don't even need in your life, right? They can do that. But that's why I say women need to love themselves. And I've always felt like, because I found out my ex was stalking me on social media. That's why I don't. Yeah, so I'm telling you. She said, "F niggas, it's too early." I'm telling you, it is. But that's why I'm very meticulous when folks say, "I know you ain't been celibate." Y'all, I was so ashamed. I was ashamed to say that I've been celibate now for a year, over a year. I was really ashamed to say that. But it's more women that are being celibate because they don't want that negative stuff attached to them and in their life, right? They don't want that in their life. I know I don't want it in mine. Heavy Chevy says 10 months, right? You don't have to worry about no H to the I to the V and the A to the I to the D to the S. Y'all know we can't say that say the words on here because they get to, so I have to spell it out. You don't have to worry about that stuff, right? And like I said, when you start reverting back to what you was taught and the types of people, and my dad was not, my dad wasn't perfect. He wasn't. But he was perfect to me. He wasn't perfect. A lot of women kind of flock to my dad, and my dad is a man. Okay, he was a man. Okay, because women are attracted to power, and so the men have to be careful and prayed up, right? But it's time for women to start loving themselves and being smart. Start trying to build empires. I see now women, they put a lot of pressure on these men, when they go, I'm looking for a man to make me happy. I don't think that's fair to look for a man to make you happy. That's a lot of responsibility to put on the guy. Hell, you already done drain the man before you get him good, because if you're looking for somebody else to make you happy, that's too much power to give them. Hell, that man got a lot of issues he got to deal with if he's a good man. It's not fair to base your day on if he makes you happy or not. That's too much responsibility. You got a mental illness. Now, I feel like when you supposed to already be whole, I'm just looking for somebody to complete me. You already messed up. If you're looking for somebody to complete you, you get ready to make this man life hell. I feel like you're supposed to already be happy and complete when you meet somebody. And I think that's what people don't understand. Like, if you're already happy, if you're already complete, people are so selfish. They look for people to make them happy. When I feel like relationships are, when you get together, you're looking to make to bring happiness to somebody else's life. You're supposed to be giving, really. You're supposed to be looking to bring happiness to somebody else's life, and they're supposed to reciprocate that. But oftentimes people get drained because they get with somebody and they give their all, and that person is not reciprocating that. Folks are selfish. They feel like, well, it's supposed to be he's supposed to be making me happy. He's supposed to be giving positive energy, making you happy, or bringing more happiness to your life. But you're supposed to be doing the same thing, right? You're supposed to be doing the same thing. Lola says, it's a lot of damaged men out here. If not, a person will never be able to love enough. Right? A lot of men, I notice, like with a lot of men, like when I say that I'm celibate, they don't believe it. Oh, you letting somebody hit that? No, I'm not. Ain't nobody touched me sexually in over a year because I won't let them. Now I can go get me some. I can if I want to tonight, but I'm not, because I choose not to allow. I'm not getting in the bed with no other man, exchanging energies with them until we get married. That's what I choose. That's how it's gonna be. If they don't want to do that, kiss my ass, go on with your life. The Alabama Hitter says people looking for folk to fix them and their pain. You can't be God to. Hold on, y'all. I was getting ready to cuss you out. I didn't know who you was because your name is not showing up. Oh Lord have mercy. Well, I'm gonna call you back. I'm on live. Yeah. I don't know. It's a lot of people haven't. All right. I didn't even know who that was. I don't know why the name is not showing up, but that's the phone that they hacked. So it acts funny. But anyways, we ain't gonna even I ain't even worried about it. Um they Riley, she gonna beat the hell out of you trying to hump on her. I don't know what's wrong with this little horny dog. Greyface says a lot of women can't find the right man because they looking more for help than love. But that's true. Hey Cypress, that's true. It is. It's a lot of people. I couldn't live with a man and lay with him and not love him. I'm only there for help. That's the reason why I works my ass off, because I can't I couldn't be. And see, that results in a lot of stuff happening, because ain't no man gonna take care of you and give you a good life, and then you going out cheating. That's what makes somebody go ahead and pop you. I'm not saying that's how it's supposed to be, but these women gonna have to be smarter. Get out and work and build your own life. Stop looking for a man. I was saying this last night. Why do these women, whoever told these women that it was better to be laying up, spreading their legs, letting everybody screw them to make my girl? I just lay on my back for 15 minutes and he give me $100. That's more than what people make $100 uh uh a day, and I'm getting it in 15 minutes. That is the mindset of people. It's almost like it's barbaric. Why aren't people telling these girls that you don't let all of these spirits up in your heaven? I'm in my damn 40s and I ain't never, and I can proudly say it. I ain't had, and this right here is too many for me. I done had sex with 7 men. You got girls that are 16 years old that done had double that. What is going on? Cramping style and being in the way. No, sir. Speaking of screw, baby, I got it before he went. I'm gonna tell you something, Diane. See, Diane married. So she be talking about. I said when I get married, I'm gonna call Diane to because she know all the tricks. I'm gonna have her to tell me some of them things that they tell me about some of them things. Cause her and her husband, she be talking about some of the stuff. She be typing in the chat that her and her husband be doing. That'd be fun. Diane, tell them about when you said that you and your husband be going to the truck stop sometimes. That sounds like it's fun to me. That's something I would do with my husband. Riley, she gonna whoop your ass. Stop trying to hump on her. Oh, he horny this morning. She said he sent me a text at 3:34 a.m. and asked. These folks compromised and dead on the inside. Sad but true. You gotta have discernment. Heavy says, I ain't gonna lie. I was one of them young girls. I was lost, but life taught me. I'm so happy that life taught you. It's always good. You can start over anytime and don't feel bad, as long as you start learning to do better. Diane says, I dress up and jump in the car and walk around a little bit and jump back into his car. Y'all, that sounds so fun. I'm telling you, like I would definitely do that. They go to the truck stop. Y'all know who be on the truck stop, right? But except for it be her husband, and she walk around and he pull up like he wanna, like he feeling her, he wanna sell or whatever, and she jump in. That's fun. That's fun. I would definitely do that. The prostitution gang trifling heifers gonna get up with something without a price on it. And these girls be getting pregnant. That's my personal phone. I hope my mom ain't on here listening to me talk nasty. Um, Greyface says, Miss T, tell Diane come over here. I want to see her come. Greyface said he want to see your comments, Diane. I'm telling you, Diane, what happened on Thanksgiving when you dressed up like the turkey? That's another one I put in my back pocket. What happened when you dressed up like the turkey, Diane, on Thanksgiving? You and your husband? Um, he said, I seen a screen like that on Pornhub before. Lord have mercy. A scene. Um, Street Politics says, oh Lord, not now, Mom. I'm so I'm telling you, Miss Diane be keeping it spicy in her marriage. Shoot, like I said, when I get married, I'm gonna call her and say, Diane, I got my pen and my paper out. Help a sister out. My cousins be having fun parties and stuff. So, I don't know if they expire, but I be buying a lot of those edible panties. I got the watermelon, the strawberries. They melt in this in their in they melt in his mouth. He said super spicy. We went running in the field and I fell on purpose. Diane said she was dressed up like a turkey, and her husband was the hunter, and she was the turkey, and she fell on purpose. He came out hunting. Oh, and they went running in the field. See, Diane lived in the backwoods of Mississippi. That stuff. Oh my God. Half of these youngsters got. He says half of these youngsters got the clam, IDI, And hold on, he moving fast. He says, "Has these youngsters got clam? What's clam? IDI? What's IDI? And the hurt me, please. Y'all better walk light." Okay, and don't forget about a lot of them got, they got those warts. I was talking about that last night, genital warts. Women can develop cancer from that. Gina says, "No, ma'am. So what he do when she not there? I don't play like that. Don't play with Mister. My mind so left." Greyface says, "Oh yeah, they recording that for sure. Ain't wasting that content." Street Politics says, "I'm gonna hit you with the nice stick." Oh Lord. Oh Jesus Christ. Um, Diane says, "Lust Demon, I'm trying to show you how it's done." Diane needs to have a class. She got ate up like the Thanksgiving turkey. Mm-hmm. That's and mm-hmm. That's why I don't see how these men be going and cheating and stuff, especially when you got a wife that's all chlamydia and hurts. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna tell y'all something. There's so many people. You have to be very careful because a lot of people, yeah, it's on the rise. I'm telling you, and especially the H to the I to the V. Okay. Snoozy Cake says, "Diane be on what I be on. I love her so much." Tamara, we can. Who was that? The comments moving so fast. Player Coach said we can play drug bust. I works for me. I don't want no boring lifestyle. I don't like boring either. But I'm gonna tell you something. I think people take like sometimes people take it too far because there's no way. I've never thought about a threesome. That's something I would never even entertain, and I would never even want a man that wanted a threesome. I don't get into stuff like that. She says, "I'm talking about the truck stop." The truck stop sound fun to me. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now. One thing is that food might have real. And for the ladies, that's what I'm talking about. These are the types of things you do with a man that that you with that truly loves you, right? I think that's where the problem comes in too. A lot of women feel like they're supposed to they start catering to these men that is not deserving of it. The man ain't even your husband. He's not even in a committed relationship with you. He has not proven himself. He's not in a committed relationship, and she's doing bending over backwards to try to prove. Listen, look, I'm the one. Look, I'll do all this for you, and that's the reason why they end up losing because I mean he's already gotten everything out of her. Diane says, "Tamara, your profession is a good one to role play with." Oh yeah, because I could do like an interrogation, act like we're in an interrogation room. Each and every time the answer is wrong, I could say, you just effed up right. You know what the man said, you just effed up right. You need to go and take your shirt off. Y'all hit the like button for me. The Black Barbie says, Lusty Pants is in the building. Watch out, ladies. Cypress in here. Oh, Cypress is really a lust demon. Cypress is trying to get to Memphis. I don't know why Cypress ain't gonna be able to play with Vanessa. But I bet you if he come to Memphis, he ain't gonna want to leave. I'm telling you. He said, "Go, Miss Tamra." Diane says, "Tamra, go to his place dressed in a black trench only. Act like you're taking a statement." Ooh, Lord have mercy, Jesus. I didn't think about that. That's a good one. Act like that. Oh, go dressed in nothing but a black trench coat. And I got a black trench coat. And drop the ink pen. Cypress said he gonna leave for sure. For sure. Well, Cypress, if you going to see her, why you gonna leave? I know you don't think you go. So Cypress something else. I need to get Vanessa in here on Cypress. Cause he talk a lot of shit when she ain't in here. You can see I got a lot of trust issues I'm working on. I got a lot of trust issues too, Gina. I don't trust nobody. Especially not. It take me a long time to trust guys. Riley, you better sit your little horny tail down. Heavy Chevy says, I'm taking note. I'm gonna be in Memphis for a limited time, not a long time. Okay, let me reach out to Vanessa and see if she all. I'm getting ready to reach out. I'm getting ready to reach out to her and give her a hit on Facebook. Riley, sit your behind down. Clarinetta says, "Don't worry, Miss T. When he see them thick thighs." Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. They're saying that they can't see. Those that come in from Facebook, are you all able to see what the people are commenting on that's on coming in from YouTube? Because normally the people that comments that come in from YouTube can, I mean, from Facebook can see, people commenting from YouTube because everybody is in the studio. Heavy Chevy says thick thighs save lives. Cypress says thick thighs, biscuits, and fries. Cypress still ain't got over when she was on live that night. Hold on. I don't know why Facebook acting up where the people from Facebook can't see um they can't see somebody's texting me saying that they can't see today coming in through Facebook y'all's comments and stuff. Listen, Diane says, "Player code, do you go on Tate Street?" That's South Memphis. I don't think player code. Do you hang out in South Memphis? Cypress, you ain't gonna be scared to go on Tate Street because Vanessa be hanging out on Tate Street, and them guys that be hanging out on Tate Street up at that store, they love her. Heavy Chevy says, "I couldn't see Diane comments. I thought that was intentional. I don't know what's going on where the comments can't be seen." It's something going on because my friend from off of YouTube said that she can't see the comments today. Cypress TV says North Memphis niggas don't go on Tate Street. Cypress, you scared to go on Tate Street? Well, Vanessa hangs out on Tate Street. You can't, Cypress, you can't go to South Memphis and visit Vanessa and not go on Tate Street. Hell, I'm from South Memphis and I don't really hang out on Tate Street. But I love South Memphis though. I don't ever feel like unsafe when I'm in South Memphis or nothing. I don't. Heavy Chevy says I heard y'all don't play in Memphis. It's a lot of people wilding out in Memphis. That's unfortunate. All the way in Miami, Florida. I heard that they don't play in Miami, especially like the Poke and Bean projects and all of that. Is the Poke and Bean project still up in Miami? A man once told me, "I'm a 10, but my trust issues and baggage make me a 3. Once you look past the outside, it made me feel so bad. He didn't want to deal with me. My problems go back to childhood." Well, we all have those trust issues. I'm gonna tell you something. Like I have a lot of the same issues, which can be overbearing because when a person truly has good intentions, um, sometimes it offends them for you to be so untrusting, to always be suspicious of them. I hope so. I hope it does, Gray Face. Street Politics said he stayed in his area. Now I don't really go messing around in North Memphis like that because I don't know a whole lot about North Memphis. And believe it or not, whenever I've had to be in North Memphis, because I don't know the streets of North Memphis like that, I never felt easy. But anywhere in South Memphis, I always I never felt a certain way. And now I will say this, like whenever I was like around Kansas and places like that, that's like the trenches of North Memphis. I I was real careful around those areas. I don't go to the bean. So is the Poke and Bean projects as bad as they say? I was looking at the Poke and Bean projects on first 48. Oh wow. Cypress says North Memphis niggas don't politic with South Memphis like that. Well, then, I mean, Cypress. Well, if y'all don't politic with South Memphis like that, you don't need to be going to see no South Memphis chick. She in the heart. She in the deep heart of South Memphis. I don't know how them South Memphis dudes gonna feel about a North Memphis guy coming over there messing with their women. Let me say this: everything hasn't always been this good. We've gone through the cheating and all that, but we changed the game. I love it there. I love it here. Wow. You know what, Diane? I admire people who can get through cheating. I do. I be admiring that when people say, we went through this and there was some infidelity, but we was able to work through it, and you see that they truly enjoy and love each other. I don't know. I don't know. I would, I know people make mistakes and stuff. We all make mistakes, but I pray for. I'm praying to be able to whenever, I don't know, but I always think it's a beautiful thing. Love is a beautiful thing. It really is when it's true love, and it's just when you're truly into each other, you care about how each other feels. You're considerate about that. No, I can't do that because I got to consider this other person, that's in love with me and I'm in love with them. No, I can't do that. No, because if that person finds out, then this is how they're gonna feel. To me, that's just so wonderful when people consider your feelings. Yeah. Um, you have to go through the trenches to get to the good part. I went to get a divorce, but everybody was spazzing out, hollering and crying. Oh wow. Wow. See, that's when they started having those epiphanies, because I'm gonna tell y'all something. I do investigative work with, and I do work for defense attorneys, and then a lot of times people will come to me like when they know that their spouse is cheating, to get proof for them to be, to present before the courts. There's always mediation. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. When those men that have been out cheating, especially when they built had a wife that was with them that helped them to build something from the ground, and they have like successful businesses and stuff, I think it'd be more so, a lot of people go, well, he just don't want to give up half. He gonna no. I think those men, like when they called us to be, when we have to be witnesses or whatever, a lot of times they do, those men be in regret. It's almost like that they can't believe that their wives finally got fed up with them and have decided to divorce them. Those men be in regret for real. I think a lot of times, especially with the side chicks, they want to say, well, he just didn't want to, he just didn't want to give up half of his stuff. No, that ain't it. Those men be devastated that their wives are divorcing them. They be devastated. It's like they start having epiphanies, but you can't go back because a lot of them been cheating so long. They develop other families with these women. They have other children and stuff, and the wives just have it up to here. And that's when they start to have regret and stuff. So you're right, Diane. People be hollering and spazzing. And they go, and I think like even when their wives go through with the divorce and they end up being with the side chick, they always treat that side chick a certain way because in the back of their mind, even though they're the reason for it, they blame those side chicks for losing their wives. They be out cheating, but they be wanting their wives. They might not even treat her right, but when she leave them, they realize how much they truly do love them. I forgave a guy that cheated once. I cheated back and he couldn't take it. We were engaged. Needless to say, I never got mad. I cheated back one time. Years ago, I cheated back. Um, don't dish it if you right. Don't dish it if you can't take it. These men can't take you cheating on them. They can't. They flips out. Because unfortunately for men, that for some reason, a lot of time, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day. We've been friends. I think I was telling y'all this last night. We've been friends for like 23 years. And he was like, all these years I've been trying to tell you this, Tam. Men, it's a difference in a man. He was like, you don't have to, you what he was saying, you don't understand, like men will have sex with a woman and they don't look at that as cheating, like on their woman. They could do it without any emotion. If she opened her legs, he gonna cheat with her. He was like, and let me just say this: most men don't even respect women who they're messing around with, and especially if the women know that they got somebody and they still mess with them. Those men don't respect those women. But I just feel this way. In my mind, I feel like a man is not. He must respect that woman. He respects that woman more than he respects what he has at home. Because if you know that messing around with this woman is going to ruin your relationship, it's going to hurt the woman you claim to love, that means you put more interest in that side piece than you care more about that side piece than you do your woman. Because if you did, you would not be out cheating, risking losing everything. That's how I feel. Men look at it differently. Unfortunately, men look at it differently. But for me as a woman, I look at it another way. Diane says, well, if I'm going to tell it, I'm going to keep it 100. I cheated back, and no, I'm not proud of it. I like dealing with one man, not two. Okay. Women cheat back out of hurt. And that's true. Diane, I like dealing with one man, not two. And when I was cheating, when I was cheating on my ex, me and him didn't do nothing. I didn't feel right. I told him, I said, my hormones be out of whack, and I've been going to the doctor, my cycle won't go off. So I ain't let him touch me for about 3 months while I was having rendezvous with my little boo on the side. Heavy, because I was like this, I would feel like a whore, and I didn't want to feel like no whore. Heavy Chevy Levy says, they're not emotionally built to handle what they put us through. Men want to take you off earth when you cheat, and they've cheated 11 times. Yes, indeed. Later on, a lady inboxed me about him with receipts, so I wasn't crazy, but he tried to use that against me as manipulation. Yeah, when men start hollering about you crazy, you might be onto something. They be cheating. Because I'm gonna tell you something about other women. If they know that he got a woman and she got something going for herself, she is going to find every way. What she'll do is she'll start leaving her eyebrow pencil. She'll drop the eyebrow pencil um on the side of the seat. um she's gonna start leaving little stuff, whereas the wife is going to know that this ain't my stuff. Who the hell been in this car? That's the type of stuff that women start doing. They start hiding receipts in places in hopes that his wife or his woman will find it, stuff like that. They start doing stuff like that. Cypress says, I like dealing with, they'll start calling, or Cypress says, I like dealing with one woman, but I love having friends on the side for just in case. Lord Jesus. Now, Cypress, if you're going to be in a monogamous relationship, if you're going to be in a relationship with somebody, you don't really need no friends on the side. That's disrespectful to your significant other. I don't mean no harm, but when you're in a serious relationship with somebody, you don't need to, not unless the person is a mutual friend of you and your person. You and your significant other, okay, we're all friends. But as far as having like guy friends on the side and you're in a relationship, that's you could be still be cool with them, but you don't need to be calling them, talking to them, and meeting them for lunch and stuff like that. No, you can't do stuff like that. That's disrespectful. I won't cheat if you don't, like for real, for real. Right. That's how I feel. And I'm gonna tell you something. More and more women, when women are hurt, we get real emotional, and the first thought is to cheat back. I've only cheated one time in my life, but I will say this: like one of my relationships in the past, probably like a couple years ago, when I found out he was cheating, the first thought that came to my mind was, I'm gonna get him back. That's the first thing that came to my mind. I'm cheat back on him. And I did start talking to a guy, and I liked him. I started talking to him. When I saw him, I liked him. I was like, God, he's handsome. I like him. He would have been cool too, but he was like, I would let him come to my house. I remember I let him come to my house to look at a movie. And when he first got there, he thought that I was inviting him to my house to have sex with me. I said, wait a minute, we don't know each other. Like, we getting to know each other now. And he took a offense to that. He was like, I thought you was feeling me. This was an overgrown, immature man. I thought you was feeling me. I'm a good man. You gonna miss out on a good man. I said, nigga, I don't know you like that. To be dropping my drawers to you. I don't know you. We getting to know each other. And it might be a good thing he did that, because that made me back off of him, because I was just ready to just not that quick. I was ready to cheat back. But I'm so glad that happened, because I started thinking about, I was like, I'm not gonna make myself into a whore to be getting back at a man. When I did that one time before, it went left. The guy when I did that before, the guy had threatened to tell my boyfriend on me, because he was like, "You said," and he was, and I told him too. Whenever he started, whenever he started, it took him years to start back, because he was cool with my cousins and them. And I told him too, because he had a girlfriend. My boyfriend, my baby dad was cheating. He wasn't my baby daddy at the time, but he was cheating. I had caught him cheating. So I started seeing somebody. And so we were having fun. We would meet at the Peabody on Mondays and Wednesdays. We had fun. And I started thinking, I was like, I need to figure out how I wanted to get to a point where I was in love with him, because I was still in love with my boyfriend. I was like, if I can ever get to past this like and start and become and fall in love with him, I'm gonna leave him. But I wasn't but I was like, you got somebody. So he started getting impatient. He was like, "You said you were gonna leave the nigga. We've been seeing each other. I tell you I love you and this, and that, and you still ain't left him." I said, "Well, I'm gonna leave him, but we got to take our time with doing this. Like, I can't just leave him right now." Well, I think you scared of that nigga, so I'm gonna handle all that for you. I'm gonna tell him. I said, "No, you can't tell him now. I'm gonna have to end it." I went to my cousins. I said, "Cousin, Corey saying he gonna tell it on me, and that's gonna, you know." That's gonna cause a lot of problems. My cousins did not want to get in that, but they talked to him. Snoozer Cake says absolutely, Diane. And I didn't go telling his baby mama on him. And like I told him, I said I told him later on because like we broke up, and then I started me and I, I me and my boyfriend at the time, we I guess we started mending things because like I was not having sex with my ex when I was dealing with him. I wasn't, and he knew I was doing something. He's like, Tamara, I think here go my ex. My daughter sounds just like him. Tamara, I think you doing something. A nigga I done caught at his baby mama's house. A Negro that was consistently cheating on me had the nerve to be whining. Tamara, I think you doing something. And I'll never forget it. He was looking at me. He turned his head to the side. He would cock his head to the side. He said, Tamara, I think you're doing something. You won't let me touch you. I said, I told you my period won't go off. He said, well, you supposed to have been a bled to death. You've been on 2-3 months. I said, well, that's what happens when you stress me out. You got me stressed out. And I'll never forget, he cocked his head to the side. He said, Tamara, I think, his voice changed. Tamara, I think you doing something. If I find out you effing another nigga, I'ma kill that nigga and I'ma kill you. I said, ooh, I believe he gonna do it too, because he was from out of North Memphis. I thought about what his baby mama said too. I said he might do try to do that. So that's when my little side dude started saying, I'm gonna tell him. I said, no, you can't tell him because I'm gonna have to quit you. I regret I did that because Corey was a nice guy. Don't y'all know Corey would not talk to me for years? But probably like a year or so ago, he requested my friendship on Facebook, and he's doing so good. He lives down way down closer to Louisiana, like in oh, I forget. It's like closer to Mississippi, but it's in Louisiana, right after you cross over like the Mississippi state line. And he and his wife, child, he done got married. They got a food truck. He was always, I'm gonna tell you something. He was always good with making money. And I'm not proud, I'm not saying that what he was doing was good or anything like that. Cause he worked for, for my cousins and them. And they was always like Corey real cool. People love him because he's so laid back. He's one of our top earners. He knew how to make money and he knew how to flip it. And so I was real proud. I always knew he would do well, and he down there, he doing real good with his food truck. I ain't gonna say nothing about his wife because she look ghetto. But I'm happy to see him doing well because he wouldn't talk to me for years after that. Nothing worse than a scorned man. Yeah, to sit up and be doing all that cheating, and then because as women we're creatures of habit. He knew my routine, and I remember he said to me, I ain't gonna even lie. He was saying it while he was giggling. He was giggling. I ain't gonna even lie. I know you ain't gonna do nothing. That's what that nigga said to me, even after I caught him cheating with his baby mama. I ain't gonna lie. I already know you ain't gonna do nothing. I showed him something, didn't it? I sure did. I showed him something. When they try to come back, don't let them back. I know. Don't let them back. And then he gonna say, like, Tamara, was you? Oh, I hate the way he talked. Tamara, was you cheating on me? I said, no, shit. I sure was not. Yeah, that be that get back. I love that get back too. And even to this day, the only regret that I have about that situation is that I hate that I hurt Corey. I really do. I hate that. Because Corey was a real street dude. I'm surprised that he fell that hard because he had somebody. And like I told Corey later on, I said, you know, like things went back to normal. I went back to my boyfriend, and by that summer we was good again. I ended up getting pregnant, and it wasn't I had not messed with Corey since the beginning of the year, that year. So I don't know where my baby dad to get that stuff from, but I had my baby in March of that next year. Corey girlfriend had a baby in May. I said that nigga he was talking about he wasn't sleeping with that girl, but he was. Hell, she had a baby right behind me. Yeah, he knew it. That's why I gonna say, I know you ain't gonna do nothing. It used to be funny to him, like when we would be in North Memphis, like when we would go out because we went out every weekend. I'm talking about me and my daughter's dad. We would go out every weekend, and like we would go places. We would be in North Memphis. I would be like, lock the door. Where we at? It was funny to him because he was like, you ain't used to being in the heart of North Memphis, were you? You don't know nothing about the projects of North Memphis. I said, hell no. I don't want to be in these places. That made me so mad for that nigga to say that. After I catch him cheating. I know you ain't gonna do nothing. Ha! I showed him. It was me and I was Mrs. Jones, child. We met every Monday and Wednesday at the same damn hotel. What I don't understand, never, I don't think I'll ever will, but how do these women stay with these men over 20 years plus, and the men are hoes? They get babies and all, and the at home women never leave. I don't know. You know what? I think it's got a lot to do with, because remember I was telling y'all about my daughter's dad when I caught him cheating, and his baby's mother had been calling me, and she was like, well, we were still together, and it went from, well, we were still together to, well, I don't, you seem like a nice girl, I don't want him to hurt you, that's the reason. She didn't give a damn about me, but I was young at the time, and so as being young, I kind of wanted to hear about that side that I didn't know anything about, because I never should have even been entertaining her when she called me. And then it went to, when she thought that she was getting him back, it went from, I don't want him to hurt you, to, well, he still be coming to my house late at night trying to have sex with me. That's what she would say. And I knew if he was going to that house, he was having sex with her. And so I think one of the reasons why I took him back was that, and a lot of women do it because they go, I'm not getting ready to give her the satisfaction of having him. I tortured myself because I couldn't stand him after that, because I didn't want to give her the satisfaction of thinking that she had made a fool out of me, and by calling me, talking about, I don't want him to hurt you, this, and that. And then you laid up with him. That's the reason why when I called him over there, I was mad as hell. And she was talking about, I was trying to open the door so you could see he ain't had no clothes on. I got back into my car. I was so mad. And I left, and I guess when he saw me leave, because she was like, she was trying to open the door, he wouldn't let her open the door. I mean, I don't advise no woman to do that. Don't go to no other woman's house, because you can get yourself killed. But I was in my 20s at that time, right? And because like I said, if she had came to my house, I would have took a broom and a mop and started beating her all over across her damn head. And so that's the reason why when he left trying to come straight to my house, right? And that's why she called me. She was like, bitch, I'm gonna fuck you up. He left. I said, you didn't think he was gonna stay, did you? I really tried to make her feel bad. I was mad as hell. And I made him feel even worse. I said, look at you all on my phone screaming and crying because you done laid up with him. He done did whatever he want to do to you. You got cum and nut dripping all off your face while you trying to hold his bumper and keep him from chasing me. You ought to feel like a damn fool with your Popeyes, bitch. I sure did say it. And I made his life a living hell. But I don't recommend doing that. Just go on with your life and don't even, because that was torture. When he would be looking at me smiling, when he would be looking at me smiling, sometimes I would be okay, but I would get to looking at him. I would say, "What this motherfucker smiling at me for? I hate him." I mean, I just was not happy with him anymore. I couldn't be happy with him. I think that's one of the reasons why when I started messing around with Corey, I felt happy because it wasn't no we had not had no issues. I could just be the happy person that I was. And I was saying to myself, I don't know why I still love this nigga. Why can't I was like, as soon as I know that I'm in love with Corey, I'm going to leave him. But it just never happened. As much fun as we was having. Snoozy Cake says, Diane, I meant the woman that stayed with the man 20 something years and he been cheating the whole time. Diane, we know that that's not your case. I know you solid and know your worth. Oh yeah, for sure. That's what I said. Diane, you need to get into like you need to start get into like the well, I was getting ready to say like the sex toy industry, but I don't use toys. When I was having sex, I didn't use toys, but I would always buy like the hot, like the edible lotions, the hots that you put on the vajayjay and it gets hot, and they have to eat it off and stuff. The panties and all of that. The edible panties taste like the now laters and stuff. That's stuff that you give for your husbands and stuff for them. It makes them happy to eat that candy out, to eat your panties out. I used to work with this guy that I used to work with this guy that's he's a preacher, but he works for the police department. And I used to go to his church and he used to always talk about like you're not supposed to listen to worldly music. Him and his wife make love with church music on. Y'all, I just can't do it with no church music on. I just can't. Oh, Diane. Oh my God. Diane said I'll drain a battery to death. Lord have mercy. Oh, Diane, I'm not into toys. Now, let me just say this. Like, I did I did buy one time this ring. I like those that you put the ring that they put on there that vibrates when they put on there. But see that thing so strong. I it you don't we had to stop using that because I'd be within like 5 minutes. I'm finished and ready to go to sleep. They said it's something released in your blood when that happens. I'd be ready to go to sleep. Joy Loves God says, Lord, it's early. Let me get my coffee and stay in the bushes. Oh, hit the like button on my way in. Father, do you hear me? Oh my God. Diane says she'll drain a battery to death. Diane, I don't know. I've never, other than that vibrating ring, I've never been into anything else. Girl, that thing is the bomb. I'm gonna tell you, it is. I remember doing it, and Pastor Kearney Thomas came on TV and threw me off. No, to I'd be too shamed to I'd be too shamed to be doing this to church music with everything that be going on in that bedroom. I'd just be too shamed. Althea girl, right. I had one cup already. Diane says, I'm making up for it tonight. I missed the live. God made it for us to enjoy it. Yeah, you know what? When I used to, yeah, it is. I mean, that's I was getting ready to say that's why I can't understand why, and I don't be wanting to offend nobody, but how people like, do like alternative lifestyles and stuff. I I don't understand because I mean it ain't nothing better than that Peter. I'm gonna tell you that right now, especially a good one. Have fun in life. We only get one shot at it, y'all. Live it up. I'm telling you, live it up. Get you somebody. Get you somebody that truly loves you, and not somebody that's trying to play mind games with you and wanting you to, because a lot of men now like to play mind games. They want to try to get women to fall in love with them because they feel like once the woman is in love, that she'll do anything. I don't like people like that. Crystal said, "Y'all gonna get me fired." Letitia says, "Stiletto girl, I got so many pairs of stiletto heels. I love them stiletto heels, girl. I'm telling you, it ain't nothing like them. I can do anything in stiletto heels. I can run, I can dance, I could. I love stilettos. If she come behind me, she better be top notch. That's it. That's it, and that's all, huh, Diane?" Joy Loves God says, Crystal, we are grown folk in this morning. Okay. I'm looking at this like, should we have put this in the members? Because y'all know we were really grown folking up in the members. Diane said you could be a classy freak. Now, see, when people start talking about a bit like being a freak, being freaks, I don't know. I think like for me, like my mind goes, okay, now what is a freak? Because when folks start talking about freaks, they be talking about somebody that, like, is there a limit to because to me I don't know if I consider myself a, I don't know if I can. I don't I don't know. I don't know because I don't know if I don't think that I am. I don't think I am. Because when I started thinking about people being freaks, I started thinking about folks that have threesomes, like people that have threesomes, folks that, you know, their husband. Because know this pastor in Memphis was talking about how his wife he wrote a book talk about how his wife be playing with his booty hole, and how she be sticking, she know how to stick her tongue right up into the point. I don't even know why a pastor would even write that. Like stuff like that to me, I don't know if that's what a freak is considered, but I guess if that's what you consider being a freak, that I know I'm not one, because I ain't playing with no booty holes. I ain't having no threesomes. She said, not that kind. I've done it. I wouldn't do it again. Oh my God. Wow. Y'all, this is why I can't understand. Like, they want to start, like they'll start striking your page about, having Minister Farrakhan on there. But I know good and well, I was looking at Facebook one day and it took them a minute to take that video off. This man was on Facebook and he was videoing this girl uh putting her tongue in his booty. I was like, what? They let people put videos like this on Facebook? And y'all, she was steady smiling. I don't know if she was on some drugs or something. She looked like a real young girl, like a teenager. And he was like, put your face back in there. He grabbed her head and put her face back in. I mean, it was like a homemade movie. And you should have heard him. He was screaming, ah, 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 ah. I said, he ain't nothing but a bitch. It was just disgusting. And I felt so horrible because I was looking at the girl and she looked so young. And he grabbed her by her hair and put her, oh, and he had his booty sticking out. He turned around with his booty sticking out, like like how we be turned around when we from, like women be from the back. That's how he was. His booty sticking out. Oh, oh. That's the reason why I talk bad about men like that. Nasty bastard. And then he records it and put it on Facebook, and he didn't even feel shame about doing all that screaming like a bitch. If I see any familiar names on other bloggers, of course, our sister Tam isn't on live. I'd be like, okay, my sister bro watching, so it's cool for me to watch. Yeah. Diane says, I'm from old school. We don't do that bottom feeding BS. I'm not going to do just anything right. It's some people that don't have limits. And I promise you that it's a lot of men leaving home for women that let them screw them in. I'm telling you, that let them screw them any kind of way. Any hole they got, they let the man stick it in and they leaving. That's why I don't like weak suckers. Hold on, y'all. I want to show y'all this. Y'all, this happened in Memphis. This happened in Memphis, y'all. This is why I say you have to be very careful. I was in shock. Now, they said last Sunday, Yolanda Beavers, the alleged mistress of Pastor Ricky Scott, this happened in Mississippi. The alleged mistress of Pastor Ricky Scott of East St. Peter's Baptist Church in Oxford, Mississippi, which is not that far, disrupted the morning worship and revealed that she was pregnant by the pastor. We do not condone violence. Pastor Ricky Scott Sr. refuses to be voted out after his pregnant side chick tried to fight his wife during service. Hold on, y'all. Now, this is the stuff I'm... Y'all, look at how the pastor's standing up there, y'all. Y'all see him standing up there in the pulpit. He ain't even moving. Look at him. Y'all, look at everybody got their phone out. The pastor didn't leave the pulpit. Everybody in the church got their phone out. And he just standing there while she tried to beat up his wife. She should have took one for the team and not bring it in. Right. Why would she go in the church and do that? And he did not move while she was jumping on his wife. That's right. That's right. Get thee behind me, Satan. Oh my God, y'all. What is this world coming to?
Football, baby. Lord have mercy.
No, let me tell you what happened. Y'all, let me tell y'all what happened. Let me tell y'all what happened. Do y'all remember? No, he can't go with bylaws. We'll be in court. We'll be in court. We'll be in court. The period of bylaws, if they said the moderator, they said the chairman of the deacon board would do it. He can't appoint nobody to do the job. He can't appoint nobody. We'll be in court. You can get police to get me out. We just go to court. So no, I'm not getting police to ask me to move. I'm the pastor. I haven't been voted out. I'm not going. I'm not going. I'm not going. I'm not going. Police can't move me and I'm the pastor. Because here it is right here. The church, I don't even know what it is. It's between the church body will be called by the voting members, and it said if any time that a vote is needed for retention of the mission, a church meeting will be called. The meeting must be stated, and it said the chairman of the deacon ministry will provide. The chairman of the deacon ministry will provide. Let me show it to you. Let me show it to you, right? That ain't even, because I asked to do one thing. Ask a question. They won't let me ask a question. They won't let me ask a question because they know I'm telling the truth. I asked them to let me ask one question. This church will be soon. I asked you know, when y'all came to that meeting, y'all said, I'll let you speak at the meeting. You don't remember that? Right. Hold up. No. This is what happened. Do y'all remember? Hold on, no. See, why they won't let me talk? All I ask is to ask one question. All I ask, they won't let me ask my one question because they know I'm telling the truth. And the police can't come on private property and ask me to leave if I'm not doing nothing to nobody. That's a private property.
Calm down, y'all.
The right way is the right way is number one. The right way is where is your church roll? Where's your church roll? You gotta have an active church roll. Where's your church roll? Where's the secretary of the church? No, you're not you. How you got one? The church secretary is supposed to have one. You haven't been here, but you coming on first Sunday. So how you know who was here second, third, and fourth? No. We're gonna do it right. As long as we do it right, I'm okay. I'm okay with right. As long as we do it right. Because you can't just bring folk in here that ain't been in here since September of 2044. You can't do it. And that's not gonna happen. Thank you. I'm the pastor of the church. I'm the pastor of the church and had not done nothing to nobody. The church will witness. I'm the pastor of the church and had not done nothing to nobody. I'm the pastor of the church and have not done
They got the sheriff up in there.
because I have not done nothing. I am the pastor. I'm the pastor of the church, and if they can't do that, I haven't done anything. I'm the pastor. Okay, come on, I'll talk to you. Come on. I'll be back.
Lord, they done got to fight again. Y'all, the mistress and came back up in there trying to fight the wife, y'all. I'm telling you, it's crazy.
Y'all, that's the type of stuff I'm talking about. Like, now he got his mistress in the church. She done went up in the church and he's standing up there while she runs up there and beat his wife up. And he's saying, I ain't leaving. Y'all can't vote me out. I ain't leaving. You would think anybody else with something like that just happening, they would have been so embarrassed that you wouldn't even have to put them out. They would have just left on their own. Girl, my auntie Missy as died. Before she died, she wrote her services and she wanted her married side piece to speak of her funeral. Honey, he didn't even show up. Lord. He knew she was on some mess. Y'all, that's what I'm talking about when I say that cheating is not good. It's not good. If don't be selfish. If you don't want to be with somebody, just let them go on with their life. But the problem is, like, folks want to they're greedy and they want to have multiple partners and stuff. And the thing about it is they know what they got is good. And so they want to hold on to it while they go out. They step out. And I'm talking about men and women. It's just, that's the reason why that karma hit them, because God ain't gonna let you continuously mess over good people and you not get your payback. I know his wife was like, you better not show up to that lady funeral. they need to pull out the pumpy and extra virgin olive oil to bless and anoint everything. I'm telling you that, and she, oh Lord Jesus, and I mean, she ran straight up to his wife. She didn't run up to him. She ran up to his wife. I wonder how he felt seeing his side chick sit there in the church. I don't know if she went to that church or she came there. I know he had to have been scared, but they was ready to vote him out right then and there. They was ready to vote him out, and he wouldn't leave. They had to call the sheriff on him. Lord. And y'all, I think too, people have to be very, very careful because my dad used to say, when a lot of people, a lot of pastors say many are called, few are chosen. My dad used to say a lot of them, a lot of these, when he would be going in about how a lot of pastors were selling out to these politicians, getting their congregation to vote for them because they was taking money up under the table. My dad used to always get on the radio show and the TV show and say, a lot of you Negroes weren't called, you just went. And that's the God's truth. He wasn't called. He one of the ones that just went. You weren't called to the pulpit. You just went to the pulpit. And they have all them lustful spirits and stuff on them. So um that's why I always say people need to learn to gain like a relationship with God for themselves, right? Because oftentimes they start putting these pastors in places that they should only have God in, right? They start worshiping the pastor and that's my man of God. And, you know, um, and which there are a lot of good pastors out there. Don't think I'm talking about all pastors, but a lot of these pastors now put so much fear in people to the point that when they're doing wrong, they have folks saying, well, we ain't supposed to talk about the man of God. They say man with the D on the end. We ain't supposed to talk about the man of God. God ain't gonna bless us. Yeah, but he molesting kids. Yeah, but we can't put our mouth on the man of God. I never forget I was going to this big church um in I was going to this big church in Memphis. And I'll never forget the pastor. At the time, he had just bought he had already paid the church off. And he he was saying that, he had a Goliath. And he was like, we're going to chop off the arm of Goliath each and every time. Because the church had many different parts. He bought up the whole area. Creating generational wealth for his family while his congregation suffered, right? And so he was like, each and every time we pay off like the radio station, we pay off the church, parts of the church, we're going to chop off the arm of Goliath. And he said, I want everybody to make a pledge of $1,000. And I want everybody to make a pledge of $1,000 in the church. Now, this was a big church. And I want them to make that $1,000 by I believe by June of that year. Now my girls were still little girls when I was going to that church. Because I always tried to be in the church and live my life right. I did. I wanted to raise my girls up with a God influence. I wanted to keep them in church and stuff. And so because I was raised in the church. And so I remember like that September came and that pastor stood up there and I was a single mother. Hell, my daddy was the one buying my damn kids diapers and stuff. So here I was, a single mother at the time, working a part-time job, going to school, because I wasn't even working at the police department at this time. And I'm trying to give $1,000. And I remember September came because he was like, you need to pay so much. Y'all need to pay so much every month. So I was really, because I really just felt like in order for my girls to be blessed, in order for me to be blessed even more, I need to make sure I pay this $1,000. And so that September came, and that pastor said, I've been looking at the sheet, and it's a lot of y'all who have not paid y'all's $1,000. Now this church had a lot of money coming in. The church had a daycare, a radio station, all of this stuff that it was a business that he had going on. They had a school, like a private school. And so he said, a lot of you all that have not paid y'all's, made y'all $1,000, paid y'all $1,000 seed, work for the church. He said, I'm going to give y'all 3 months to pay y'all's $1,000 if you work for the church. And if you have not paid that $1,000 in 3 months, I am going to start replacing y'all. You will not have your job. I never went back to that church. Because number one, if a person don't have $1,000, even back then, hell, $1,000 was a lot of damn money, right? So I'm sure working for the daycare, working for the, cleaning up around the church, doing little jobs around the church, working for the school around the church. If the people hadn't paid their $1,000 is not easy, especially back then, to come up with. But when he told them folks, if they didn't pay that $1,000 that worked for him in 3 months, he was gonna fire them. I never went back to that church anymore. And I had been taking my little crumbs and stuff, and putting it and trying to pay my $1,000. So I remember this girl I had went to school with. We had reconnected because we was like best friends in junior high school, and we had reconnected when we started going to the church, because she was going to the church, and she was like, I was telling her about it. She was like, I had not seen you at church. I said, well, when he said that he was going to start firing his workers because they had not came up with their $1,000, I couldn't get with that. It was just something about that did not sit well in my spirit. She's like, well, me and you ain't gonna, she said, because she had them, I had 2 kids at that time. She had went and had 5 or 6 boys. And she was like, I'm trying to get my life right. And I got a van. And if I had not paid my $1,000, my van was out of service, and it was in my van had been in the shop. If I had not paid that $1,000, God would not have blessed me with the money to get my van out the shop. Well, she got a damn income tax. That's how she was able to get it out. So she was going to be able to get it out, and because she was going to get that income tax with them 5 boys. And I'm not trying to minimize God. Please don't ever think that, because I do believe and know that there is a God. I believe in God and all of that. I pray every single day, not just at night, but all day. I try to keep a prayer in my mind, so that y'all know I have temper tantrums, and I be ready to cuss a bitch out. So I have to consistently pray, right? But she me and her stopped being, she was like, she made an example. Now this girl was having issues, like when we would leave church, we'll go out to eat, and she had all them boys. A lot of times I would help to pay for her food and stuff, and she had the nerve to tell me, she said, I said, well, maybe you should look at it this way, that I said, I've been reading, I had started reading the Bible more for myself. I said, the tithes and offerings is for the widows and the children. I said, just like you with your 5 sons, like if you didn't have any money to eat and you and your sons were hungry, I would feel an obligation to help you. And she cut me off. She said, no, don't do that. If me and my sons were hungry and you needed to pay your $1,000 for the church, don't give that to me, because if you and your girls were hungry, I wouldn't do it for you. But I had been helping this bitch when we was going out to eat. She didn't have no money, and I was helping her to eat. She told me that. She cut me off. Don't do it, because I wouldn't feed you and your girls before I paid my $1,000. And bitch, we had been going to the Chinese restaurant and stuff, and you couldn't even come up with all your money with all them kids, and I was helping her to eat. I cut her off too, because see, it don't take much for me. I cut her off. But I stopped going to that church because I was like, dog, you see all of these older people and stuff that are hungry, that have to decide on whether they're going to buy medicines or if they're going to eat. And you have pastors making them feel guilty about not putting their money that they need for their medications and stuff. They already living on a fixed income, living in low income housing and stuff. And you got a pastor that's making all that money, making them feel guilty, telling them they've gotten older and their mindset is I'm old now. I just want to make it to heaven. So I'm gonna have to go without and give this church my money because I don't want to do nothing that's gonna stop me from going to heaven. Y'all, we can't keep doing stuff like this. You can't buy your way into heaven. I believe in giving tithes and offerings to the church. And hey, if the church is like a hospital. If it's a good pastor, I believe the pastor is supposed to get some type of salary, right? But the tithes and the offerings is for the widows and the children. It's supposed to be a storehouse so that when people in the community are hungry and they need their light bills and stuff paid and things of that nature, um, widows and children, they're supposed to be able to come to the storehouse and get meat and food when they are hungry, right? But it's unfortunate that they kind of leave that out. They'll say, will a man rob God with these tithes and offerings? Hell, but they ain't going to read the scripture that's above it or below it. And that's why I've always, y'all, I'm telling y'all, like, when I was going through my situations when I was younger, it probably could have been worse. I always had a real good support system because if I had not had my mom and my dad and my grandma and them, I would have been out there having a hard time, just like being a single mother, just like any other young girl who I had two babies by the time I was 24 years old. But my grandma told me, you better not go get another damn baby. I'm gonna tell you that right now because they were helping me with those kids. And but I would have been out there like that too. And so I was going to church and stuff because I was like, I want my kids to be raised up in church. I wanna be more in the church, and I still love church because I feel like you can go and you can, if you can go to church and you have a good pastor and you can get a lot of help because it's supposed to be about giving, right? But I witnessed a lot of stuff because I left that church and started going to another church, and you know it I just started I saw a lot. I will say that there was this one church that I went to. I'll never forget, his name was Elder Wilburn. And at that time, like, that's when I had gone through the academy, and I ended up injuring my hip, and I was down for a while when I messed my hip up. And I promise you I was so depressed because I was like, dog, I only had 5 weeks left. I'm supposed to be a police officer, giving my kids a way better life. I wouldn't need like my dad's help or everybody, my mom and them that was helping me. Like, I was hurt because I was like, I earned it. I passed the gun range, I passed the law, and that's what we lose a lot of the recruits at. I was like, I got past all that, and I tried to get over the wall, and I messed my hip up, and you could only miss 3 days at the academy. And so when I went to the I was hopping one day. I'll never forget. Mike Rollins was out there at the gun range. He was the instructor at the gun range, and I was trying my best not to hop on my hip because I knew they was gonna send me home for. And my hip was so messed up. And Mike, one of the instructors at the gun range one night, had seen me hopping, and he said, he called my name. He said, what's wrong with your leg? And I tried to play it off, and he went and told Mike Rollins. And so Rollins had called me in there. He was like, we've been friends for years. I've been knowing you since felony response, blah, blah, blah. He was like, I'm going to have to send you to the hospital. I got to do it. I started crying. I was like, no, please. I don't want to go to the hospital because I already knew how bad my hip was, right? Because we still had to do exercises and stuff down at the range. And he was like, I got to send you to the hospital. I got to. As soon as I got to the emergency room, the doctor, they took x-rays of my hip and stuff, and they was like, we got to take you off. You can't, we got to take you off. I was hurt. I was like, I've worked hard. Like, I got 5 weeks before I graduate and become a officer. Like, because I had worked in felony response, I had lieutenants coming out there because they would be coming out there looking at us when we were exercising and stuff, like lieutenants from specialized units, especially from organized crime. And I remember one of the lieutenants pulled me to the side and said, "Come here, Tom. Um, so what's gonna happen is I'm gonna see if um I want to pull you to organized crime, to vice and narcotics. That's what they call it. I want to pull you up to vice and narcotics when you graduate, because we need new faces and stuff." Because he had already been familiar with me, right? And my regular assignment, they had given us our assignments. My regular assignment was the downtown precinct. That would have been my regular assignment, but they was gonna TL me. That's a temporary loan to vice and narcotics. And so what ended up happening was I had to leave, of course, and because I had to miss more than 3 days, right? Because the emergency room doctor, I was so hurt. And so one of my daughters was in the second grade, and I'll never forget her teacher, who was I was so stressed. I was like, "Dog, this is something I had earned, and I had to give it up." But I had to sit out. And they was like, I was crying and stuff when I was leaving. It was like, "Well, you know what? When the next class come, you can come back through." I was like, "I don't want to go back through all that stress. I had made it. That's 21 weeks of paramilitary stress, but I had to get myself healed, right?" And I'll never forget Miss Givens, one of my daughter's second grade teachers. She was a minister, and she was like, "I would like for you to start coming to this church that I know of." That's one of the churches, Elder Wilmer. He was so good to me. I love going to that church. It was a small church with only like 20 people there. And so I told her, I was like, she was like, "I see you hopping." I told her what had happened at the academy. And this is what stuck with me. And this is why I never went back through the academy. She said, I told her, I said, "My hip is messed up, but my hip heals, the next class that they have, I'm going to go through that class." And she said, "Come here, let me talk to you. Why would you want to go back through something that God has removed you from?" And I didn't even think about it like that. She was like, "God removed you from that for a reason." Now I'm getting ready to show y'all this young lady right here. I'm gonna show y'all how God has always been on my side. And that's the reason why you have to be very careful about who you mess with. That's the reason why I don't really worry about. I do get mad, but I don't really worry about like some of these vloggers on here. They gonna get they get back. I promise you. The vlogger that was messing with me, he gonna get his get back. Thought he put voodoo on my dad and all that. He gonna get his get back. He already suffering. And some of the rest of them that's obsessed with me. This is the young lady right here. We were traffic officers together. Her name is Martoya Lane, right? And I pull her up because it's a story behind this. Now, Martoya Lane was we were traffic officers together. She had 3 girls. I would say she was one of the nicest traffic officers that there ever was. Traffic officers are considered P1s. We go through the academy, we learn traffic, and then the police department pay for our schooling. And once we get our degree, we go back through the academy to become P2s, which is a full police officer. Because I ended up having to leave Martoya Lane, um, they recruited her, and she went over to vice and narcotics. She went over there. I was supposed to go, but she went, right. Martoya Lang and them did a bust. They did it right. It was big. President Obama spoke about her too. President Obama recognized her. Martoya Lang and them Vice and Narcotics did a bust, right? And one of the drug guys who they bust, he thought that it was some more drug dealers breaking into their house to rob them, and he ended up shooting one of the officers, and he shot and killed her, right? They say it was friendly fire, but they never proved that. They say it was friendly fire, but it could have been. You know why I say that? I think one of the reasons why they never talked more about it. I don't think it was friendly fire. I think what ended up happening was, once the lieutenant, it kind of came out more what had happened. once they saw that they had shot Martoya, the lieutenant and them recognized that they had shot her and they had killed her. They were so angry. The one of the drug dealers that was in the house, he was scared. He didn't know what was going on, even though they had drugs. You know what I mean? You break in there on them guys, they be already paranoid because they've been robbed 100 times. I'm told that one of the sergeants, once they made it to the scene or something, they saw that it was a man down. That was Martoya. And the sergeant said, shoot that motherfucker. And the guy had already had his hands and stuff up. You know, one of the guys that was in the house, he already had his hands and stuff up. And he said, I said, shoot that motherfucker. And the officer didn't want to do it. And he said that the guy had surrendered, his arms and his hands and stuff was up, and he shot him because his commanding officer told him to shoot him. I think that's why they was quiet. That never should have happened. You know, that shouldn't have happened to Lang, you know, because she had three beautiful children. Actually, I believe Lang had four children. She had four children because she had just had a baby. And I remember seeing her in, she had taken, this is when Walmart had off-duty officers working in Walmart. And so I was told that I had seen her, and, you know, I seen her like a few weeks before it happened. She was working in Walmart in Whitehaven, off duty. And so I was telling her, I was like, I never came back through the academy. I was like, but I miss it. I miss you guys. And she was like, I never forget. She said, you ain't missing nothing. She said, I be on the internet every day looking for another job. I don't even like being a police officer. I'm trying to leave. And a few weeks later, they did that bust and then in Vice and Narcotics. And I often think about that. My friends, one of my friends, because you know, we had taken our pictures in the yearbook. He said, you know what's so weird about that? He said they messed up the pictures in the yearbook. He said, don't you know they got your picture and her name up under the picture? And I always thought back to what Miss Gibbons had told me. She said, why are you trying to go back to something that God took you away from? It could have very well been me, because they recruited her over there because I injured my hip. I I always think about, God, would that have been me that was doing that sting, and I'm, they mistakenly shot me? I think about that. That's the reason why I know God don't make mistakes. That's why I don't try to force anything. If it's not for me, I don't want it. I just kind of let stuff flow. I don't try to force nothing ever. He got 25 years for that. I think it was like three of them. It was like two or three of them in there. I look at, like, she was one of the nicest people. She was so sweet. She was. And when she was killed, it's unfortunate. Um, they was fighting. They was her family, she was going through, she had moved on. She was living with she had just had a baby with another police officer, and they were engaged to get married, but she was still married to her first husband. They was in the process of getting divorced, and people got mad because when she was killed, because they were still married, he got that $1 million. One thing about the city, I will say this: when you put in your time, all of those people that have had higher positions and stuff within the city, when they retire, they get $1 million or more. They leave millionaires. No, you can't beat God. You can't. Looking at her, I get emotional because we used to ride together. We used to do traffic together, and she was so easy to talk to. She was so easygoing. I hate that happened to her so bad. And then what they ended up doing was, when we did traffic, they ended up sending me back up to the bureaus to work in Crime Stoppers. That's exactly how God protects us, and we don't realize at the time it is happening. That's so true. He used Miss Givens to speak a word into my life and said, why would you go back to something that God took you away from? At the time, I couldn't see it. I was like, that's so unfair. I've earned everything. And I remember when when I ended up, I was talking to Mike Rollins, and he was like, I had no idea that when I sent you to the hospital, to the emergency room that day, he said, I had no idea that that was going to happen. I was not sending you there for them to take you off that long. He was like, I had no idea that was going to happen. I just wanted to get on record that you had gone to the hospital and stuff, because we couldn't be around there hopping. That's the reason why a lot of times, like when the recruits were injured, we would not say anything because we were afraid that protocol was they had to send us to it. We had to go to a doctor. So we would not even say nothing because we would just walk around injured. Like when we would be shooting over 1,000 rounds a day, our fingers and stuff. I'd be having issues now with my damn fingers, I believe, from shooting all those rounds. Our fingers would be bleeding, our fingers would be popping, they would stiffen up because we would have to shoot over 1,000 rounds a day. When our knuckles and stuff, we would have to load them weapons and stuff back up, would be bleeding. We would hide that because if we went to a hospital or a doctor and they took us off, they might take us off more than 3 days. I said, Lord, my babies were little girls. They was like 4 and 7. I was like, dog, my 4-year-old wouldn't even remember me as much other than pictures and what she was told. So God is a protector. Miss T, this is Nola Girl on my other channel. I joined the membership and didn't realize it was on this channel. Oh, okay. Thanks for joining the membership, Nola Girl. There's a real testimony right there. Yeah, that's a real testimony right there. That's why, I get mad at people because I don't bother people. I don't. And I have not, certain people I haven't been around, and I would never want to be around. You know, when I see that people are evil, and I have to catch myself on this, and I see, like, it's disappointing to me when I see that people are real evil, and I think that folks are righteous and they gravitate to them. I don't know. That's kind of disappointing to me. Lord, let us thank God for the doors He closed. That's true. That's why I always say every closed door is not bad. I think it was preparation, because then I ended up getting a job with the sheriff's office, and I ended up working right with the chief, and God had me there for a reason. I was able to help people, because he valued what I said to him. He valued my advice when he asked me, and I was able to help a lot of people. And I was able to learn like the administrative part of the police department and all of that good stuff. And so now in my work that I do, because of those relationships, everything is ordered. Because of those relationships that I had with those people, I still have a lot of friendships. I met a lot of people at the top, a lot of those officers, a lot of those chiefs and stuff that left, those captains. A lot of them got into private investigative work. Some of them went over, they left the police department, they went and started working for the U.S. Marshals. They went and started working for other higher agencies. And so it's easy for me to start doing investigative work for the DA when they retired and stuff full time. So God allowed me to have those relationships and get relationships with those people and know those people, because he knew that later on I was going to start my own investigative company, and I'm able to call some of those people and get some answers about stuff as it relates to what I do in my investigative work. You know, I know a lot of people be wanting to know about young Dolph. I know quite a bit about that case, but it's a lot of stuff that I can't say about the Young Dolls case. I just can't say that. It's not my place to put out a lot of stuff and ruin a investigation. I would never in my whole life, ever in my whole life, put out information prematurely just to say I got some information and ruin a investigation. That's those people's investigation. And so when people tell you a little bit of stuff, they tell it to you because they think enough of you to tell you. They feel like you're mature enough not to put it out there. It's some things you just can't put out yet. It's some things that you just can't put out. These people are so crazy as it relates to this Young Dolls case that I'm talking about the people that are involved. They're so crazy. It won't penetrate their minds that okay, the police already know this stuff. They already investigating whatever it is, you know. Hey, I'm just a sitting duck, right? The first thing that will come to their mind is how that person know that I need to go kill them. They crazy. It does not register with them until later. That shit, the police already knew this stuff. It wasn't that was premature. People get mad at you for knowing stuff, even though it ain't gonna help them none. So that's why people you have to be, very careful about how things are handled. Um, it's a lot of false information that has been put out about the Young Dolls case, and that is being put out about the Young Dolls case. And believe it or not, I think I'll say it's sad the way I see people tormenting his family, but as an investigator, I'm talking about the investigators that's working the case. I think that it works in their favor, that a lot of what they put out is fake. Because at least the real information is not being put out to the people that is involved. They don't really know everything that the police has on them. They don't really know everything, but I think the only thing that bothers probably, like, the DA's office and stuff, is people within the DA's office and maybe the investigators, is that they know that some of these vloggers have been put on here to witness tamper and to jewelry tamper. And I think something is going to be done about that. I don't be just saying that to be talking. I'm telling y'all what I know. Yep. Well, we got into a lot of stuff. I got on here to talk about women need to love themselves more. They do. I think when you release love into the atmosphere, it can't do anything but come back to you, right? It comes back to you when you decide that you're going to love. And even if somebody mishandles your love, you're not supposed to stop loving just because a damn fool didn't recognize your worth and they mishandled your love. It's going to come back on them, and trust me, they always realize it in the end, whether they say it or not. But don't ever let somebody stop you from being a good person or from loving. And I think we all have been victims of that. I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm so And this is something that I pray about constantly. I'm so afraid to fall in love with somebody that is ridiculous. I am. I'm so afraid of falling in love with them and them mishandling me because of stuff that I've witnessed in the past, that it is ridiculous. And I feel like I've messed over a lot of good guys. Like I've missed out on some stuff. I'm probably missing out on some stuff now because I have guys that be trying to get at me now. And I feel like my dad has said to me right before he died, Gail, I think it's time for you to start looking at you getting you a husband. And I always think about, well, what if I get a husband and he think he can do this to me and he think he can say that to me? I don't want nobody that, if I fall in love with him, he'll think that he can start mishandling me. He can start discouraging me. That's the type of stuff that I worry about. And that's the type of stuff that I pray about all the time. Because I start looking at other people's relationships and I go, oh my God, that just seems so beautiful. I wish I had that. And then I'll think, well, how am I going to have that if I don't trust nobody to have that? Because I don't trust nobody. Diane said, I ain't tired yet. Girl, I can't wait until I get married into my honeymoon night. Oh my God, ooh. If I plan to stay celibate until I get married, I might put a hurting on that man. He ain't gonna be right for 3 weeks. Pray on it and really celebrate and take care of yourself. The Bible tells us to guard your heart, right? To guard your heart. That's true. When three ones comes along, all of their fear will go away. And I also consider what I do like a ministry. It's like a blessing. Like I consider it to be a ministry. There's other stuff that I'm gonna start getting into. I'm gonna tell y'all, somebody else may want to do it. If they do, I think it would be good. But I'm gonna tell y'all a case where I know that there was an injustice, and I want to join. I'm working on doing some more stuff. But I'm gonna tell y'all, I really, in my heart, believe, and I not believe, but I know that. And I'm not just saying this because he's a celebrity. I'm not trying to get no clout because I do real good for myself. But I feel like an injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere. And they taught us this in the academy. It is better to let 10 guilty men go free than to convict one innocent man, right? So the thought, I guess the practice is, because I don't think it's not law. The saying is, it's better to open the jail and let out 10 guilty men than to convict one innocent man. Really, when you see all of these people that get into the legal system and they start being crooked and stuff, that's messed up because they already know what the laws is, or what the practice is supposed to be. It's just an injustice to convict an innocent man. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. See, murder is one of those cases where that man should not be in jail. And I really wish more people, I'm talking about trained people, because the state of Louisiana got some real messed up laws. I'm telling y'all, it's rotten down there. Their laws are different than any other laws. They operate under those old French laws, and I don't even think that should be legal. They're taught law differently than any other, and than anywhere else in the United States, right? Even if they convict you in the state of Louisiana, if they find that there was corruption, if they find that they wrongly convicted you, it can never be overturned. See, murder should not be in jail because he did not commit those crimes. And I that's one of those cases that I really wish, other than, because you see people vlogging about it. It's gonna take more than vlogging about it. See, murder. Um, okay. I'm going to tap in. I was just thinking about how I miss your live. Um, See, murder shouldn't be in jail, right? And I think that his case would be a case to not just vlog on, because when you're going to investigate something, you can't be real vocal about it. especially when you're dealing with corruption. You have to really go underground. And I'm talking about trained people, not a bunch of wannabes. You got to be trained. They should have it should have been overturned. As a matter of fact, see, murder got out. I ain't never seen nothing like it before. That judge, Martha Sassoon, she's now, she's back a lawyer. She's no longer a judge. When she did that with C Murder, she saw that there was corruption. And C Murder, remember, he got out for a little while. She let him out. I can't understand how they then went to the Supreme Court and had them to override what she did and put him back in jail. You know that's a lot of injustice BS. Hey, is that Arrington from 108? Good morning. Yeah, his case was one of a kind. Shed some light on C Murder case, T. We stand behind you. Okay. People came forth and said they were coerced. Right, those people came forward and said they were coerced. They did the exact same thing in Mac's case. Mac had never had a criminal history. Mac was, I mean, they really messed him over. And they did the exact same thing in Mac's case. They started putting people's messing with their children, threatening to put their kids in jail for life. Another man said that he was arrested in the Max case, and he said that Mac didn't do it, and they held him in jail until he changed his statement and said it was Mac that pulled the trigger. The same thing that's happened with, and they kept Mac in jail for 21 years. They took 21 years of his life, and they knew that he was not guilty. Have not compensated him, but Mac has gotten out. He's stayed positive. When I used to talk to him when he was in jail, was I started talking to him because I was supposed to do an interview with him. He was always, and I did end up doing an interview with him. He was always so positive. I ended up becoming really good friends with his family. But he was always so positive. He would say, no, 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 don't feel sorry for me. I'm good. I don't want nobody to feel sorry for me. I have to stay in this state of mind of always being positive to get through this. And they kept that man for 21 years. Where he could have been out having more babies and having a healthy life. They took 21 years, but he got out running. He doing the darn thing. She says, "Are you ignoring me?" I didn't see it, the Black Barbie. I just saw that comment. She said, "Are you ignoring?" I didn't see your comments. It's just starting to show. I just saw that comment. I don't know what's going on. One of my friends had texted me and was like, "I can't see anybody's comments." The Black Barbie, this is the first comment that I've seen that you have posted. I saw you posted a little while ago, but that was it. Go look about the book. Go look about the book. Go look about the book. About what book? The Black Barbie. Snoozy Cake says I had to come to the other page. I was on the original page. No, she's not purposely ignoring anyone. All comments aren't available. It's something wrong. I think they've hacked my studio. They must be deleting my comments. She says, "Are you going to write a book about vlogging on the Doss case?" I never thought about that. I never thought about writing a book about vlogging on the Young Doss case. She said it would be exciting. You know what? I think when everything comes out about Young Dolph's case, I've always said this. I think Young Dolph's case, you're gonna start to see a lot of people writing books, just like they did on the O.J. Simpson's case. We ain't nearly about over with in the Young Dolph's case. I sure hate these young men mess their lives up, all because they wanted to mess up the life of Young Dolph. These folks that mess their lives up, and I guess they thought that. I wonder did they ever think that they would get away with it. I wonder if they thought that. I be wondering. I was like, dog, these folks gotta go. They're gonna go through hell. I wonder did they think that they would get away with killing him. They wanted him gone just that bad. They thought that they was getting some young dudes to go do it that they didn't care about, and they would be able to laugh about it. But because God is a just God, He ain't allowed it to happen. He's not gonna let them kill that boy and get away with it. I be wondering about that sometimes. Some of the people that we've heard, I've heard that's involved. I be thinking, what the hell was they thinking about? Did they think they was gonna get away with that? No, you didn't interrupt the conversation. But anyway, you guys, it's 12. I need to get out. Let me get ready to get out. And I think I'll get back on tonight. The wind is not blowing. I gotta get out and go over to a neighborhood on a case, and then I gotta go. I know these I should not even be eating no chips. But I'm gonna tell you, I like the French onion dip. I messed around when I went to the market and I was like, I don't know what the weather gonna be like. I hope my lights don't go out. I guess that was an excuse for me to buy something bad. And I bought these potato chips. I shouldn't have bought them because they didn't have the lightly salted ones. And then I gotta go over to the bonding company. I be tripping, y'all. I told my cousins, I was like, when your friends want to get out of jail, they're like, cuz you write bonds? I said, yeah. Y'all, I was like, I'm only gonna be over there like 1 or 2 days a week. Y'all, them old niggas stay going to jail. I ain't never in my life seen nothing. My cousin was so mad at me yesterday. His ass got out of jail. And he went back. I said, why you back in jail? Why he back in jail? He just got out. Cause he back in jail. You need to go on over there. So and get him out. We'll come bring the money on up there. Well, I be so tired of them then walking to the bonding company. Hey, cuz. Thank you, cuz. I love you, cuz. I said, oh shit, you stay your ass out of jail. And then they old friends be going to jail. I said, these old niggas stay in jail. They be getting with these young girls and then be cheating. And they be fighting. I tell them, I said, listen, y'all messing with these girls. They go and get restraining orders and stuff on you because they mad. And then you go to jail. Y'all make up. When she get mad at you again, she gonna call the police and say he violating his restraining order. But she asked me to come over there. I said it don't matter. You ain't supposed to be around her. You know what she gonna do when her crazy ass get mad? Well, she need to go to jail because she called me over there. I said, shit, y'all keep me at the damn bonding company more than I want to be over there trying to get you old niggas out. I gotta go over there tonight. I told my cousin, I don't know what y'all doing, but you sure be paying out a whole lot of money for these dudes to get out of jail. But shit, I mean, I'm your cousin. If you're gonna pay anybody, I guess it should be me. Cause I'm tired of them. I'm tired of these stupid motherfuckers. That's what he be saying. I'm tired of these stupid old motherfuckers. He have to get them out of jail. He said the power of the cooch. You ought to see them. A lot of times they be coming in there. They be coming in there too. If you gonna go get trail out, when you gonna walk over there and get your? I said, Lord have mercy. I don't know how long. I said, Lord. Now my friend was teaching me the bond. I really just wanted to learn the administrative part. Shit, but I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to deal with this because I can't deal with ghetto every day. It's already bad enough. I'm having to deal with my crazy cousins, the younger ones. I love them, but they crazy. But it ain't no excuse for these old ones. I be so ashamed. The guy that my friend that owned the company, he was like, I don't take no offense to this, but everybody that you burn out be family members. They walk in and say, "What's up, cuz?" I see, yeah. Mm-hmm. I said some of them don't be my cousin. They just be and grew up around us, and they my cousin's friends and stuff. And he be getting them out because they work for him. I told him, I said, you ain't gonna have no damn money having to bail them out all the damn time because they wants to fight. They old ass is still fighting with these young girls and stuff. I said 2 days a week. I'm having to go over there every night to be writing up bonds for these niggas because they can't stay out of jail. I'm starting to think it's something going on. I get to thinking when a man can't stay out of jail, it's something ain't right about that. Because they already know when they get out and they go back to these damn crazy ass girls that they got restraining orders and stuff on them, and they do this so that they can control them. When they get out, they go to their other girlfriend house. She already know he out. She gonna be mad about that. He make his way back to her. She already mad because he been with the other girl when he got out of jail for a few days. So when he come back to her, she already knows she got a restraining order or order of protection or something on him. So she be waiting for him to walk back into her house so she could start with him and she could call the police on him because she mad because he been with the other girl after he got out of jail. So she could have him sent right back to jail. She said, I used to, you know what? I love looking at Love After Lockup, girl. When girl, I'm telling you, a jailhouse boyfriend. I'm telling y'all something. I remember. I'm sorry for eating in y'all ear. I remember when I was working for the sheriff's office. I was working for the chief, so they needed some people to work some overtime. So I had already, worked for the chief. I had already been trained on everything. So I went down in the jail. I was working in the booking window for some overtime, and I was, after I got off, and I was working in the sometimes I work in release, right? I'll never forget. We called the guys down to be released, and this old guy came. He was like in his 30s, He walked down. He called himself a thug, right? So, they be sitting there. We take their pictures and stuff, release them out, let them get their property from the property room. That nigga was sitting over across from me, and he was talking to another inmate, and he had got into it. Another inmate that we called down came in there, and they was kind of going back and forth. He was like, "Yeah, that nigga something," and it was something to the effect of, because we'll take him up there. He one of them niggas that will bend over and hit him real quick. Want it? He said that to the other thug that was sitting next to him. Want it? We'll bend him over real quick. I said, I heard that, and he got so shamed because I heard him say that. They be up there screwing other men. I told y'all. When I used to work overtime down in processing, they would have them milk trucks to come in. Milk truck is when they had Blue Crush, and they were that's when they go get the prostitutes, the women. They call it the milk truck. They would have a truck, a bus load of them. When they did those things, they go get the male prostitutes and stuff. So we had a lot of male prostitutes come over in the jail that was already dressed as women. I was working in the booking window that day. They started bringing in all those transgenders. Now they had just went and bust the drug houses. They had went and did bust the drug houses, brought all them thugs up in there. So processing was overloaded. They were so busy, it was ridiculous. That's why they needed some more people work overtime. I volunteered to. And so I was like, now they bust the drug houses, brought all these thugs in from all over the city. They're sitting in IDFP. Now here come the milk truck with the transgenders that have been out there prostituting. They had their weave and stuff in their head. They still had on their weave and stuff. When they go over there, they dress out when they get in IDFP, so they still had on their clothes and stuff that they prostitute in. I said, I'm gonna see how these thugs are going to interact with these transgenders, because they had to be brought to the man's jail. I was in the booking window. That was a glass where we could see over in IDFP. When I opened that door, when I popped that door and let all those transgenders in IDFP after I finished fingerprinting them, I ran to the window to see how those thugs was going to interact with them. I kid you not. Some of them, only a few of them, they started moving over to the other side of the room because they didn't want to be sitting there. They was moving. A lot of those thugs that had already been processed and that was sitting waiting to be housed, they started looking at those transgenders. They started looking at those transgenders up and down like they would look at a woman, grinning and stuff. I'm telling you. Yeah, I'm telling y'all. He said nobody ever talks about how Gotti and Dolph once shared the stage. We talked about it. We talked about how, Gotti and Dolph was cool at one time. I really hate that it went as far as it did. Because, we had supported Yo Gotti's music. We had supported Yo Gotti's music and stuff. And I knew Yo Gotti's music, even though I'm not a real big rap person. I knew Yo Gotti's music before I knew Young Dolph's music, because Yo Gotti had came from my era. Young Dolph era was kind of like behind my era, right? Even though he was able to tap into our era too, because he worked hard to do it. there's video because I've shown that. I've shown video of Young Dolph when Young Dolph first started. He called Gotti one of the big dogs in Memphis. He was like, "Shout out to Yo Gotti, one of the big dogs in Memphis." He paid homage to Yo Gotti. That's why I said, Young Dolph did not start off. When folks said, "Well, he was hating on Gotti," I don't believe that one bit. I don't. Riley, I'm not playing with you. Remy, why you keep turning around? You want him to? I'm gonna have to start watching her because I think she want him to jump on her back. She keep turning around to him, and his little short butt just ready. It's sad people may have more than you, but see you as a threat. Looking right. I think the problem with people is they want to stop you. They feel like they can stop you before you even get started. If I stop her, if I stop him, they don't they won't go past me. A lot of these people just a lot of folks are just crazy. I'm telling you they are. I promise you I'm gonna end up having some puppies. I was looking at I was like, these dogs are in heat and they've been in heat now for a while. She probably be already pregnant because she getting fat. I was like, I think Yorkie, full-blooded Yorkie puppies go for like 2,500 a piece. I just can't get past like I'm like they people like, why don't you let them dogs mate in peace? I'm like, but she's my baby. I don't want to see him humping on her. And it's just amazing because I've always had female dogs, y'all, and to see how he act when he in heat, he act just like a man. He be jumping around, hopping, and y'all ought to see him. Yeah, into it, guys. We'll get on, and I really I gotta get out of here because like I said, I definitely gotta go out on this case and see what's going on, and then I gotta go over to the bonding company to get this damn food out. We ain't gonna hold you, sis. Yeah. So you all have a good day, and maybe we'll get back on tonight. Maybe we'll get back on tonight. Okay, you guys, be safe out there. Try and rest today if you can. Okay, and I'll talk with you guys later.